Hello, everybody, and welcome to Alicia Dianne Art. I am Alicia Dianne, and I'm so glad to be with you for Master Workshops BizDev Portfolio. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as we go into this extra session that I wanted to be doing on Mondays for BizDev Portfolio, I wanted to introduce my new friend here. I have this arm. It's like a, I don't know what you call it, not a constraint, but I've been having pain like in my forearm and in my hands. And I had this dream, and I don't know where it came from. I think I was probably because I was praying about it. And it seems to happen sometimes that I get like these dreams that kind of answer my questions. And I had a dream that it was the circulation in my arm. So I was like, oh, let me see if there's anything that I can do to fix that. So I found this thing that's supposed to be helpful for circulation. So if anybody else is having like hand problems or arm problems, I had a lot of pain in my forearm. So we'll see. This is my first time using it. So hopefully it works and my arm is going to be fresh and new. But let's go ahead and get started. And today I'm going to be going to the iPad. All right. So I want to go to iPad because I want to switch between using my Photoshop and my iPad because I really like doing line work in Procreate. So I'm using Procreate. So I'm gonna import the file, and how you can import your file is if you save it to the cloud. You'll be able to get access to that same thing. So if you go to the iCloud and you save everything, you can have access on all of your different devices. So let me see if I can go ahead and find it. Should be an illustration, BizTech portfolio, and here it is. So hopefully it will allow me to bring that in because I want to work on line work today. And let's see where we can get going with this. I'm excited about my arm brace. I hope that it does the trick. It's so funny that I have the dream about it because I don't know, every once in a while like I do these like vivid dreams, or like I felt like for this one I was like half awake and half asleep, and I just heard it as like a voice, just like it's circulation, and I was just like, maybe that is what's going on, and that can actually, you know, be figuring out what's happening with the circulation could actually help me. So I'm hoping that everything works out good. I'm going to keep in good spirits about it and keep on drawing. So I was at the zoo today. I'm also trying to get back to drawing at the zoo on a weekly basis. And turn my sketch back on. And let's see, this was my character idea, so I can close that. I have these layers from my color. I can go ahead and I think I can close those. The good thing about Photoshop and Procreate is that the Procreate can read Photoshop files. I'm not sure if I'm not too sure if Photoshop can read Procreate files, but you can export a file as you can export a file as, what am I trying to say? As Photoshop with Procreate. That's what I'm saying. Alright, so I want to use black. And I will change the colors, but I like to just kind of start with black. And I think I'll also take the opacity down on my sketch more, so it won't be so dark right now. I want to be able to see it, but I don't want it to be like overwhelming. Okay. So there's that. I can lock it again so that I don't draw on that layer by accident, which can happen sometimes. And I want to use my pencil because I really like using this pencil to sketch with and to do line art. So I'm just going to go in here. Let's see. Maybe I'll take it down just a little bit. And I'll go in with the line. So line can be tricky thing. I was thinking about if I was going to do it before I got on to this, but I just didn't have time to come around to it. So I'm just going to use this time today to go ahead and get started with the line art. You have to be careful too, because you don't want to like little changes with your marks can make a big difference on your final, so you got to be careful to make sure that you're getting everything as you want it to be. This thing is so tight too, so I'm just hoping that that it's not uncomfortable. Right now it feels fine, and but I just obviously just started, so hopefully I just hope that it stays okay, especially like after drawing for a couple hours. I just wonder how that's gonna feel. Hopefully what it does is take away that aching, and I've been getting like pins and needles in my forearm and in my hands, and my hand has been going completely numb, which feels so weird because of that hand injury that I had gotten in July, which I think was a combination of I think I just used it too much. It was a combination of doing a lot of illustration, and then I was doing dance where we were using these fans, and I feel like the movement we were doing was just too much for my hand and for my arm to do. Plus, on top of that, the illustration, it was just too much. I'm hoping that my dog doesn't cut me off because I fed her lunch, but I haven't taken her out yet. I usually take her out around this time, but I was like, oh man, I don't have time. I'll take her out like right after I finish recording. But if she gets impatient with me at any point, then I'm gonna have to like leave you guys and come back. I'm hoping that she'll be fine, you know. It's just like an hour, but it's really gonna be up to her. I'm gonna let her decide what happens with that. Also, too, I think it didn't help that I was doing most of my drawing in bed, which I'd never thought that would even be an issue at all until it became an issue. Until I think that I just feel like there was having like the lack of support for my arm. I think and have it hanging there while I was using it probably just made the situation worse. So for my character, I'm going to pretty much do line on everything. Maybe I'll leave the hair without line. But I think I'm pretty much going to use line on every part of my character. And of course, like for sideburns and stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure. One of the things that I want to incorporate also into my drawing regimen is doing more master studies. And this is a master workshop, so yes, this is different. This is all like from your own imagination. We're using our own ideas and using different things to like give us inspiration. But what I mean when I'm talking about like the master studies is like what I do for studying the masters, just sketching and learning from other artists. And I just want to incorporate some of that because I feel like that's a big part of I feel like that's a big thing that people don't talk about. Like people don't really like to. I don't know. Maybe it's because they want to get all the credit. I don't know. but it seems like it's less cool, I don't know, to talk about um, how much we need to learn as artists from other artists, and we learn that from virtually from copying other artists, but you're not copying. You're like, it's just like Pablo Picasso said, it's like bad artists copy, great artists steal, or good artists steal. And that's just, you're learning how to, you're learning your technique from other artists. You're learning what works. And I feel like that's an important piece that a lot of artists don't necessarily talk about. Because it seems like more like conversations are around style, or at least that's what I hear a lot of people talking about, is like style. But so much of style you get from other artists. That's how we find like the appeal. That's how we find what works, what sells, and what gets people's attention. And I'm not saying to be unoriginal here and just go around copying people's work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is like so much of what we get, and even the stuff that's like very popular and commercial, like the stuff I see. I just went to see a screening of Wild Robot, and it was, I enjoyed it visually. I would say more than I enjoyed the story. Um, like it was, it had a lot of nice visual elements to it, but nothing was something that hadn't been done before. And so much of characters are like, what works is like, what works with characters is what works with them. And I see so much often certain types of like, it's almost like the same thing with actors. It's like, you're seeing the same, you might see in a certain type of movie, there'll be archetypes, and it'll be the same type of character. And the same thing happens in animated movies where you get the same type of character. And there's like, it's almost like it evolves and it changes, but you're getting the same thing. And that there's a phrase in Hollywood where like, give me the same thing, only different. And sometimes it's just give me the same thing, period. Because I see like the exact same character, like every fox in animation. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it seems to me like every fox in animation is virtually the same fox being done over and over and over again from since um, I think Milt Kahl designed that fox in um, Robin Hood, and every fox since then has been the same fox, or basically the same fox. And because he did such a good job, and I just think that people just keep like regurgitating. That's a horrible word, but almost regurgitating the same thing. So I think rather than bash that, I think use that to your advantage, because I don't think that's going to change. And I always talk, like we're here, I think Milk called this, did this one too, the little boy who's called Wart in, in The Sword and the Stone, which really he's King Arthur, but they call him Wart. And Milt would talk about, I think it was Milt who designed him, would talk about like the same, or somebody was talking about it. I feel like it was him, but it might have been.
a more modern artist talking about his work, and they were saying like every little boy has been that little boy Wart in animation since then, and in many ways, it's become a template. It's become an archetype. So I say, forewarned is forearmed. So go ahead and use that. Why not? Like learn, and you use that by learning to draw those types of characters, practicing drawing those types of characters, and then you kind of realize, um, when you start drawing them more, like the little things that make them who and what they are. And what you do is you don't copy it. When you're making your own characters, you're not copying that same character, but you're using, um, pieces. Like you're creating a Frankenstein almost of like characters that work into a new character that works. And I think I mean, this is how I like perceive everything, and this is how I see things working in the industry. I mean, I'm not the obviously the last word. Somebody might tell you something else, but this is my hypotheses. And this is what I think is happening. This is what I see happening. I'll say that. So, do with that information what you will. I think if you know, but like once you know, you can incorporate these sort of ideas, and why not just, use them in your own work. If it works, then use it. Do what works. I remember listening to, this artist who used to. I still love this artist. He's working in Warner Brothers now. Um, but he used to do a lot of YouTube videos, and I think I would consider him one of my greater inspirations for wanting to do YouTube at all, because I just really liked how, personable he was, and just how he just talked about his process and his journey and what he was learning on the way. And I just loved his stories, and how he talked about things, and how relatable he felt. And you guys, if you've been using YouTube, for an art reference for a long time, you probably know who he is. His name is Will Terrell, and he talked about one of his, like someone he knew. I don't know if it's his friend, or like, an acquaintance, or somebody he was talking to, and they were just like, they virtually copied everything that they were seeing, and like they were doing like some sort of commercial stuff, and they for like animated stuff. It was animated, but it was like some type of commercial thing, and the guy basically just copied, like everything that he was seeing, um, and because he was a really talented artist apparently, but he wasn't getting work, and then he decided to just do what was being put out at the time, and apparently he got picked up like almost immediately. And I don't remember exactly what the studio was and the whole situation. And I'm not saying that that's, the way to go. That's not what I'm trying to, like. I don't know how much of other people's things, like I personally feel like I want to be influenced to it. I want to be inspired, and I want to learn. I think is the big word there. I want to learn from other artists, learn their tricks, learn technique, like learn how to make things more appealing. Like I want to learn as much as I can. And that's just how did I do her hand? Am I inking her hand in the right direction? No, her hand feels off to me. I gotta fix. Her wrist feels too big here. I'll fix some stuff. fix that. And it just goes to show you can't just ink blindly. You have to kind of, like where I have her, the color is not where it's supposed to be. I have to fix the color in some spots. So at least that's what I'm seeing now. Alright, so anyway, I was talking about learning. But yeah, I mean, basically, I think like learn what you can, like learn as much as you can from other artists. I mean, that's what they used to do in the old days anyway, too. Like, artists would apprentice each other, and I was just reading about this artist in Russia who wanted to apprentice with Picasso, and Picasso was the one who said, like, great artists steal, and artists have been apprenticing with other artists for, you know, centuries. It's not new. It's how you learn. So we have artists that we can learn from at our fingertips. I mean, it'd be better if we could work in studio with them, but since we can't always do that, studying, and by studying, I mean studying with your pencil, is one of the best ways I've found to learn. Okay. I'm gonna fix her hand there. I think I still make her finger feels thicker than it needs to be. Alright. I got another rejection letter. Speaking of learning, I got another rejection letter in the email. Who was it? It was from like, I think, what's the name of this? Wild Brain? Maybe that's why I got rejected, because I don't know. It sounds like Wild Brain Studios or something like that. I applied for like a character design position. But, sometimes you win. But that's what they say. You win sometimes. I haven't won yet, but they say sometimes you win. It was kind of interesting too. They did a panel talk for that Wild Robot after the movie, and these like directors and artists on set are like, it's so crazy because they don't look like they work in animation. They look like they work in like film. Like, and I say that because they all look like so together. Like, these guys are making money, and it's so like strange because we're all the same type of nerd. But it's like these are rich nerds. Like, they're making really good money. And I can imagine, like, you're doing what you love and you're making good money at it. It's gotta be the best of all the worlds. It's like to be doing something so exciting and like, yeah, it's hard and difficult, but so exciting. And to be making a good living off of it, it just seems wonderful. It seems wonderful. Like, how many people get to do that? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people though who are living, who are doing what they love and making a good money at it. I think there's a lot of people like that. More than are in the public eye. Because you would never know, like, this guy directed a film if you didn't know him. Directed a, and he can, he's apparently he's like and so many um, directors and animation come from storyboard, and you're talking about boards, so I feel like he probably was a storyboard artist at some point before. Just the way he was, because he was talking about like making boards. So I feel like he was a storyboard artist. The way that he talked about it. I don't think that you have to be a storyboard artist to. I think that that's probably um, where most directors in animation get their start. But I feel like other types of artists um, can as well if they have a vision for it. I think it's possible. And the guy was also the writer, so he's a storyboard artist, but he ended up like being a writer. He wrote the screenplay, and it's based on it like a children's book, or like I don't think it's a children's book. I think it's like a chapter book. The way that they were talking about it, it seems like probably young adult or young adult reader. Um, that's just the I haven't read it, so that was the idea I got when they were talking about it. But he wrote the screenplay for it, so I'm like, if you have a vision, I think there's a lot you can do. Okay, so let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Hold on 1 second. I have to. My son just texted me. Okay. All right. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm making some sort of sense. I have so many questions too, and I question myself a lot. One of the things I was wondering about is like, am I making this too intricate? Am I making it too detailed? And I think about like some of the other artists that I've seen that kind of do like loose stuff. Should I? Is this too spending too much time? And then I'm just like, girl, just stop. Like, don't worry about like comparing or anything like that. Just finish it and then do the next one. You know, like, what are we worried about? I always double check and make sure they have 5 toes. Because I don't know, sometimes I'm worried, like, I'll draw them with 6 or 4. Or, I don't know, I'll get the toe count wrong. So I find myself counting toes and fingers to make sure that I put the right number. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm worried, like, am I making it too fancy? Am I not? Because I, and you may be, or you may not be, you may not even be interested. I have not, like, been hired by studio to do visual development yet. This is something that I have interest in. This is something that I do for my own IP, but it's not something I've been hired to do. Since you like this meme, oh God. Funny.
Uh, my son and I have a funny relationship. We meme each other. We joke really funny, goofily. I don't know. We have a funny relationship. Sorry. I'm trying to find the right meme to send him back. I just want to send like a funny meme. Okay, I'll send this. He's not even gonna get the reference. I sent him an Alia meme. He probably won't get it because it's from my generation, but it's still funny to me. So anyway, I was wondering like and doubting. I was like, oh no, maybe I'm doing these too fancy. But you know what? Whatever. I need to do like all different kinds because I did try some illustrations that were like really fast and I didn't get much response. I did this a while ago. I didn't get much response on online with like, so I'm just like, you know what? Just do your best. Like maybe it is about just taking your time and doing some illustration that is really the best that you can feel you can do. And why not at least have those types of works that it where it is like your best work, like where it is the best you can do, like regardless of how long it takes. So this is what I'm doing, and I want to make them nice. I want to make them as nice as I can, and I'm gonna take my time with it. If it does take me 5 or 6 hours for one, then it takes me 5 or 6 hours for one. But these are for my portfolio. Like this is like the real deal. I'm not just doing this just for YouTube. I'm excited to share it with YouTube, but this is really pieces I'm making for my portfolio that hopefully will get me work because that's what I want. I want work. I want opportunities just like anyone else, any other artist who is a professional artist who wants to, you know, earn a living doing what they love to do. So that's where I'm at. So I'm giving it a chance to like do some more formal works that do take time. Oops. Happens with me sometimes with my Procreate. I exit out accidentally. So let's see. Alright, so I'll definitely have to fix some of the color stuff. Alright.
and all of this stuff. It's just like, yeah, I think you have to, at some point, you have to be patient with yourself, because you learn that like trying to rush things is never worth it. Like never. Like what's, and if it's not gonna get you work, then why do it? You're trying to get. I think I heard somewhere that every art piece is preparation for the next art piece. So you want to do it your best, but you don't want to like worry too much about it. Being better than you can make it. You just make it the best that you can, and the next time it'll be better, and the next time it'll be better than that. But you do it your best, but you accept what your best is. Like if this is not Picasso, obviously, or not, Glen Keane, that's okay. It's my best right now. It's better than my best was 5 years ago, that's for sure, or 8 years ago, or even in some cases 1 year ago, because I understand perspective and color a lot more. Um, so I did the best I can this time, and next time I'll be better for it. So it's all a balance in the circle of life, or whatever. Hey, hey, lay down, lay down. I told you my dog might bug me. She's here now, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if she just wants to hang out by me or if she's asking me something else. We'll see. But hey, you probably hear her big nose sniffing. What do you think I have, honey? I don't have anything. Oh, she's been weird about my glove too, because she hates gloves. She hates when I wear gloves because typically I I was gonna use the word assault, but that's not the right word. I like to mess with her when I have gloves on. I like to play with her, and so she always tries to take the gloves off. And I have like these one pair that are like paws, and I always like act like it's a claw. And she like hates these gloves so much. She tried to tear them up. Like she likes to play with them, but you know how dogs play. Dogs play by killing things. So that's how she sees the gloves, like she wants to kill them. Dogs. It's funny how dogs play by killing things, isn't it? That's just, it's like their sense of humor is just death. And it's just how dogs are. It's just being dogs. Alright. I have so much work to do. I think I literally have so much work to do. But I'm really glad that I got some stuff done. Like I got another page of another spread, I should say, which is 2 pages of my comic done last night. I finished it, which I don't know. I start on a spread and then I work on it for a while, and then it's kind of in limbo for a couple of days to 2 weeks, and then hopefully finally I come back to it, and then eventually finish it. And sometimes it's in limbo for a long time, and the quicker I can get it out, the better. But sometimes it doesn't always happen as timely as I would like. But anyway, I got it out, and I still have a lot of other work to do. I have to do all of my stuff with children's book and illustrating. I'm grateful to get to do stuff like that. Grateful I have this project that I'm working on. And that my client added 10 more pages, so that's really a wonderful thing. More work, more experience. which is a good thing. Which are all good things. More art to make. And I had some fun at drawing at the zoo this morning. I really like this character. To me, he's interesting. I mean, he's just kind of fun. I feel like he feels familiar, but different. You know, like we were talking about, like give me the same thing, only different. He feels like that to me. I feel like I know him, but maybe from like a 60s era cartoon or something. I know him, but I don't. Like I don't at the same time. He doesn't look. He doesn't have the same look as Genie from Aladdin, but he's got similarities like the opaque kind of body, bluish hue, and obviously he's a genie. I stole the little like harem pants. You know, the waistband. I stole that. I wasn't sure what else to do with his pants. I need to give him. I can't have him with no pants. That would be weird. So I gave him like the harem pants band. And definitely gonna have to adjust a couple of spots with the color. I might need to fix his mouth more. I don't know. Feels like there's something off with it, but I don't necessarily know what it is just yet. Alright. Like, yeah, it's like one of those ghosts from like the 70s cartoons or 60s. More 60s. I like that he's kind of a throwback. Something about I don't really use like 60s style. But if you notice, like every era has some trends, and that's what I'm talking about, learning from other artists and seeing like what's selling now, what's in now. You know, what can you and what are the things that are timeless that have been passed down that are still being used today. Like I think it's good for us, for all of us to know what those things are. Because if you look back at like 60s era and every era really, you'll see like across the board the similarities, like you can hardly even tell sometimes the difference between one thing and the next. I mean, some things will have like its little like things and things about it that make it just like that make it unique, but at the same time they all have like a certain type of aesthetic or like style that speaks of the time and just what's in vogue at that time. And I feel like every era is like that. And you see it a lot. You see it in fashion, you notice in fashion, but you notice in animation as well. So I think it's important to not ignore those things because I do think I tried to ignore that for a while and just try to do just what I liked. But that's not, you know, staying current with the industry that you say that you love. So you really gotta stay in tune with it and see how it's evolving. Interesting. All right. All right. So let's see. Okay, so let's see. What else can I blab on about? Something too that reminds me of like the ghosts from even before that, I think. From like what era? From like old school stuff? Really old school stuff? I'm trying to like debate too, like how much detail I want to put into the background of those objects that are hanging in the room. Like how much I want to put line on them. Not sure just yet. Let's see. And I think this type of work is the most exhaustive for my arm, like doing inking. I mean, I feel alright right now, but I can feel it's starting to feel some pressure on there. Inking, clean up. It's just, I know it's a lot to ask for my arms, so just gotta, I think, to appreciate your body, what it's able to do while it's able to do it, because we never know if you might not always have that ability. Sometimes you won't. I pray that I do. At least still able to make art. I don't know if inking is... I hope so. I just want to be able to do every part of what I'm doing. But doing stuff like this may need to lessen. I need somebody to maybe pass it off to when it gets to this stage. At least sometimes. What I want to do his hands. I'm trying to think if I want his fingers over or under. Kind of feels like let's see. Oops, how did that open? I don't even know how I did that. Let's move this. There we go. So maybe like one is there, and maybe like let's see how this works. I need to be able to see the part of his pocket that he's pulling out, fabric and all. And it might be that too that I like doing this in Procreate, this inking part, because I like being able to twist. I know you can move things around in Photoshop. I know that. But easily move things around with like your little fingers. Just boop, boop, boop. And really having that swivel option is nice. And here's the Harem Pants band. That would be the cool name of a band. A music band. The Harem Pants Band. That's kind of hilarious to me. I take full credit if somebody wants to make a band that name. Copyright. Alright. Dabba dabba doo. Okay. I'm almost done with my genie. His line anyway. I'm glad we took a second day because, like I said, I want to do these. I don't want to shortcut. I want to do like full illustration, like fully rendered illustration, nice quality, like professional grade quality illustration, no shortcuts. So I'm glad it took an extra day to work on this because I want to see what my portfolio is gonna become. I'm excited to see the journey, see the progress, see the pieces come together. It's part of like an exciting part of art making, is being able to see like a new finished work. And I'm gonna say it truly, like I don't really get to appreciate it like that when I'm doing my books, when I'm doing children's books with clients, and when I'm doing my graphic novel, because, and even like working on children's books for myself, for my own writing, because it's just like one page. When I finish one page, I don't feel like the woohoo, like, yeah, got another page done. It just feels like, all right, I got more, I got 10 more to do. Hurry up. Like, it, you don't really get to appreciate the whole thing until you're finished all your illustrations. So it's nice in this portfolio part to just kind of see one at a time and appreciate one artwork as one artwork, and like be able to call it finished when it's finished, because when you're doing it, um, because this format, you get to really focus on one at a time. You're not making the story, so you're not worried about the next thing that needs to be done. When you're done with it, you're done with it. And it's with bigger projects, you don't see that until it's done, until everything's done. So it's nice to have a little. I know the world is, especially the art world, is majority is going to be big projects, and most of the time it's going to be, you're going to be working on big projects, and you're not going to be able to savor, each individual piece that you do. But it's nice every once in a while when you get the opportunity, um, to say, hey, this was a fun piece, and really like appreciate the one piece without worrying about the next one, the next one, the next one, and the whole project as a whole, because it's a rare thing. We don't get to do that too often. It's nice when you do. Like, for most of them, I will probably end up doing it the same color as his, doing the line the same color as his skin is, but it's, I don't know, it adds an extra level, I think, of cleanness, if that's a word I can use. Let's see a second. I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave it like this, but just want to see how his eyes look. that little bit of extra detail there. Alright, nice so far. Pretty happy with everything. I'll rename this layer line. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of the video, but I just want to say thank you for joining me in this time. If you're able to give me your time for a little while and listen to my ranting and raving, if you want to call it that, I think it was an exceptional time, and I mean that because I enjoyed it. I feel like we made some big progress, and I got to talk about a lot of the things that go through my head. I get to think out loud, and I get to think through what's already like wobbling around in there in my brain, but I feel like I get to make more sense of it, if that makes sense. So it's really helpful for me to be able to verbalize my thought process and really have a better understanding of what I really feel about art and the industry and just the way things are and the way to really navigate it. It feels good to have a better understanding of how I feel about those things and really make sense of it all. So hopefully it's helpful to you. If it is, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and share it with your artist friends or your art people looking for artists. Share it with someone who's going to give me a job. I'm only half kidding. Alright, so anyway, this is what we did today. We got a lot of our line work done in only an hour, so that's not bad. It's an investment, but it's not like, you know, a bad thing. I see now, I forgot a line here. Draw his little... chest line there. Alright, so this is what we've got so far. We still have a ways to go with this piece, but I think it's making good progress and I'm happy with it. And I think that it's going to be a really nice one when we're done with it. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again soon, but I'm going to take my doggie outside and let her finally get her walk, even though it's a little bit late. But thank you so much for joining me again, and join me again on Friday for another master workshop, VizDev Portfolio. And I will also be doing this week we'll be doing another book club with our book Selling for Dummies. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, wonderful week, wonderful year, wonderful life. Be grateful, live balanced, be yourself. See you next time.